in the London area. Today, Jeff Bennett shared some of his memories on Facebook about all the canvassing he did in different neighborhoods in London, knocking on countless doors and hearing things like this said to him, quote, "Boy, are we happy to see you at our door this election. I can tell by looking at you that Jeff Bennett is a candidate I can support." Jeff posting, "These are things people said to me when I was knocking on doors in London West as the PC party candidate in 2014. These people who'd never met me saw nothing special in me. They were happy only that my name was English, Jeff Bennett, and my skin was white. I knocked on thousands of doors in the very neighborhood this atrocity occurred. This terrorist may have been alone in the truck that day, but he was not acting alone. He was raised in a racist city that pretends it isn't." Wow, Jeff Bennett joining us now. Jeff, thank you for taking the time to come on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, so I'm glad that you felt the courage to post that here. Tell us what we need to know.
I was originally posting it. I live right up the road from where this tragedy happened, and it was. I was overcome with guilt, and it was originally it was only on Facebook. I was penning an apology to my friend Ali Chabar, and those things that you pointed out. The unique situation here is I ran in an election that was only less than a year after a by-election in which Ali Chabar ran, and I knew very well that he faced very different challenges and very different welcomes at the door than I did, and that became painfully evident very quickly. And I had to write something this morning because I feel bad that I didn't do more to speak up about it at the time.
And just to be clear, Jeff, I mean, you canvassed across, many parts of that riding, and you spoke to a lot of people face to face, and you heard this kind of thing over and over and over again, correct?
Quite a few times, yeah, over and over, and it's an underlying thing, and that's the problem with systemic racism, and these are things that have grown and animosities that have built over the span of hundreds of years. They don't. You can't paint the entire riding with a single brush, but at the same time, there's no doubt that this kind of racism is there beneath the surface.
You also said that you feel the suspect here was raised in a racist city that pretends it isn't. What did you mean?
I don't think. I think that's every city in North America, really. And I think to address this, we all need to look internally. And nobody wants to admit to being racist or to say I'm part of the problem here. But really, that is it. And, I'm 47 years old. It's taken me a long time to even get to the point where I'm starting to acknowledge this. And that's based on my upbringing. But I know that I am not alone in that. And of course, we choose not to think about it or want to examine it because we don't want to convict ourselves and we don't want to look at ourselves as being bad people. But really, we all need to be doing more if we're going to address this.
And turning the mirror on ourselves. Something else I know that you wrote about was, 7 years ago when you were running in that riding, there were volunteers who were part of your campaign who sort of expressed a certain level of discomfort with the previous candidate, as you mentioned, a candidate of color, saying that, his campaign office looked like the Middle East or words to that effect.
Yeah, those things were said specifically to me, but I don't think you can again paint this single party with that brush. This is an underlying problem in society, and what I regret is that we're so reactionary to it too. And that's why I even made the post, because I knew these things, and why wasn't I having these conversations 5 years ago? That's why I was overcome with emotion today and felt the need to put pen to paper, because we all realize that these problems are out there. But it's very reactionary. Now we have all these politicians visiting our city today, but this was an issue 2 days ago as well, and it's the same with the mass grave discovered in Kamloops. These are problems that existed prior, but we address them in a very reactionary fashion, and I feel like we need to take a more proactive approach and look in the mirror every single day.